might guess where we are today. Of course, this is the Grand Canyon, kind of big. This is also a famous crime scene, surprise, surprise, and one of the FBI's famous cold cases that they managed to solve. In 1978, a woman in Littleton, Colorado was checking on one of her neighbors and went into the house to find a 45-year-old woman and her two children dead of gunshot wounds to the head. The woman was sitting in front of a desk with a suicide note. Law enforcement, as is the tradition, interviewed the husband, a fellow by the name of Robert Spangler, who told the police, yes, he was planning on leaving his wife. She was very despondent. She probably killed the children and herself, and the police ruled it as a murder-suicide. Spangler then married another woman who turned out to be a famous Grand Canyon hiker and even wrote a book about hiking the Grand Canyon. That marriage didn't last very long, and Spangler divorced her and married a third woman who he would bring to the Grand Canyon to hike with, who supposedly fell off a cliff. He reported to the ranger station here on the south side of the canyon that the woman just slipped and fell off a cliff. It was ruled an accident, and this was in 1993. Law enforcement thought there might be something else going on to the story, and so the federal law enforcement and the local law enforcement, Flagstaff, Arizona, start putting the pieces together. And the FBI went to Colorado to interview Spangler, and after only 4 hours of conversation, Spangler admitted to killing his third wife by pushing her off a cliff here on the Grand Canyon, killing his first wife and their two children, although did admit to killing the second wife, who died of a drug overdose. But Spangler felt that he would be seen as this great serial killer who managed to get away with killing these people and not being caught by the police. The FBI informed him that he didn't kill enough people to qualify as a serial killer, and he was arrested on these 3 homicides and sentenced to life in prison. Spangler thought that he would be known as the famous Grand Canyon serial killer. It's very doubtful that anybody who comes to this amazing spot even knows the name of Robert Spangler, let alone the crimes he was convicted of. When you come here, you're just overwhelmed by the expanse of the space. So it's just really great to be here, and especially with Jessica Lamb on her very first trip to the Grand Canyon, who hasn't yet leaped into the abyss. Be careful, Jessica.